hope everyone is well. We aren't doing super over here, but you know, it happens. We're going to do a detached chain stitch today. So easy peasy, and you kind of like get a lot of bang for your buck, you know? So I'm going to do maybe a couple different colors. We'll just see. And we're going to do them on these kind of long stems like this. Then we're also going to do them on the little bits in between here as well. Okay? Hello. I've got some like not great news right before this. So if I'm sniffing, that's like probably why. But it's fine. Don't worry. It'll be fine. So what I'm going to do is normally, I don't want to go from the bottom to the top. I want to go to the top to the bottom. So I've actually put the wrong color on. It's fine. It's all fine. That's our mantra, isn't it? I'm going to do all 6 strands. I'm going to show you how to do the detached chain stitch. And then we're going to kind of work our way down, overlapping a bit. It's going to look like lavender. You can use any color that you want though. And they don't have to be in the same kind of groupings that I've got. You can go 1, 2, 3 or whatever, you know? So 1 and then kind of 2, maybe 3 all the way down, or you can do a couple more. It's completely up to you how you want them to kind of overlap. So what we're going to do, I've got all 6 strands here. We're going to come up here at the very, very tip. Zoom in. We're just going to do a little loop like this. Now I don't want mine to be like super long at the top. So wherever you put your next stitch, that's how long each of your stitches should be. But they are detached chain stitches, so they're not going to like connect to each other or anything like that. They're all individual, and you have to lay each stitch individually. It literally only started like 1 minute ago, so don't worry, Carrie. She said, I just missed this live starting. But actually I was a bit late because, such a long story. But basically we're trying to get Miles to fall asleep by himself, okay? Because we were going in like a lot of times at night, okay? So I started sitting in the chair across the room, just being like, oh, it's fine. Don't worry about it. And he was like, yeah, it's fine. Like, cool. Closed his eyes, went to sleep. And I was like, wow, this was really easy. And now he's waking like 5 to 6 times per night, being like, why aren't you in the chair? And I'm like, I cannot sleep in the chair all night. Like, I've got to go back to my room. Even though we've told him, when you fall asleep, we go and do our jobs. You know, I teach embroidery, and Daddy goes and does like dishes and like folds clothes and does all that, like, he does a run, all those kinds of things. And he's like, yeah, that's okay. And I'm like, yeah, cool. But yeah, goodness me. It's doing a number on us, you know? Right, so I'm just gonna do this one more time just to explain it, because I kind of did the stitch without explaining it very well. So your next stitch, it's going to end up looking like tiny little, like a lavender, okay? So you can do them kind of close together. You can do them spread out if you want to. It's completely up to you, okay, how you want it to look. I'm going to follow this kind of pattern for like the next 5 stitches, and then you can see what it looks like and how you want to do it. So we're going to come up from the back like that and come down kind of in the same area. We want it to have like a point. So if you go down the same hole, it's going to have a point. If you go next to it, it's going to be like next to it like that. If you go a ways away, it's going to have an open. It's not going to be a point like that. It's going to be open. And if you go a really ways away, it's going to be a fly stitch. So you can kind of see how it evolves into each of the different kinds of stitches. Yeah. So you're going to leave this loop like that and come up inside the loop. like that. And then put your needle just on the other side of that loop. Okay, so if you're going to put it way out here, you're going to end up with one really long stitch like that. You just want to put it like on the other side, like that. And there you go. You've done it. We're just going to do a ton of those, okay? You can do them overlapping the green kind of stem down the middle, or you can kind of go around it if you want the stem to be like right down the middle, meaning like you can see the whole line of the green stem. I kind of do like a mix of both, where sometimes I'm overlapping, sometimes I'm kind of going behind. So we'll do that on the next one that I do. Okay, so I'm going to do 3 this time. 1, 2, 3. That's what I was saying at the beginning of the video. You can kind of do like groups of 1, 2, 3. Or I tend to do kind of 1 at the top and then... Oh. Turned it the wrong way, didn't I? I tend to do 1 at the top, kind of then 2, then 3, and then kind of 3, 4, 3, whatever. You don't have to make space between each one either. Like I've got quite... What's going on here? I've got quite a bit of space in between mine. So you can kind of see from this one to this one. You don't have to do the spaces in between. You can make them quite tight, so they're like overlapping and layering. You can use lots of different colors as well. So if you saw at the beginning of the video, I did this color, and I also pulled this color. So maybe have it be darker as you go down. Like there's so much you can do with this one. And we're also going to use the detached. Every time I say it, I get a little bit like that in the middle. The detached chain stitch for these ones, in the middle of those ones as well. So we're going to go back to that too. All right, so this one's going to be in the middle. Just literally right up the middle. What? That's definitely not where I put that. I think it's because I've been doing a lot of stitching, looking through the camera and not like through my own eyes, you know, like around the camera. Okay, let's do kind of like 1 over here. Then what we can do is add a new color. Do kind of 1 on the side. Oops. And the other thing that you can do is add a little straight stitch if you want to fill in the centers like this. So you can go at the very top. Just a little straight stitch just to fill in that center, especially if you're making them quite big. That can help. Also, it was brought to my attention today when I was looking at my camera, not my camera, my calendar, that we're halfway through the Stitchalong. Can you believe that? Halfway. So we have this week and next week, that's it. I'm just doing a little straight stitch in the middle of each of the detached chain stitches if you are just joining. So let me flip it over. I'm going to do my next color now. You don't have to change colors. You can use the same color all the way down if you really want to. Or you can change colors. It's completely up to you. Got my next color now. I mean, I've shown the stitch, so like you can do whatever you want from now on. It's completely up to you. But it makes a really nice transition when you can do kind of different colors all the way down, and not just purple. You can do them any kind of colors you want to. And you can make them, like I said before, touch, so they're not so kind of spaced out. Or you can make them a bit more spaced out, so they're like a bit more, I don't know, drama to it. Also, I've had quite a few messages about the names and saying that I did a good job explaining, and not to say sorry for over explaining, but I just feel like with the names, sometimes you don't know how to do it until you do it. And I know I said it before, I'm sure I did. But it's one of those where until you're actually stitching the name, it's a bit like, where do I go? What do I do? And obviously I can't do every letter, you know, everyone's name and everyone's letters. So I get a little bit nervous because I really don't want to be that person that's like, oh, just stitch it. And then you're like, but how? I don't get it. I don't know how, Tori. So I was trying to really kind of explain it, and maybe I thought I over-explained it. But I've had a couple really nice messages, so thank you so much for that, because I really did think I was like going on and on and on and on about it. But I was kind of thinking about every situation. Obviously, I'm talking about the book Stitchalong. I know a lot of the people who do the book Stitchalong also do this one, so I just wanted to say it here as well. I think especially because once I get started talking, you just can't shut me up. And then you can even do like one on this side, and then one like a bit farther down, and then we'll add our next color. Okay, do you see it coming together? Like that? So I'm just going to add that last color. Keep these colors though, because you can always do the straight stitch down the middle of your detached chain stitches. And that's a really nice way to kind of like finish it off. Lovely. Thanks, Teresa. Okay. Don't worry about stitching over things. I had a question about that as well, like overlapping stitches, like yay, nay, like what happens if you've already stitched something, oh my goodness, and it's like overlapping with it. Don't know what I've done there. But that's all right, so don't worry about that. Most of the time you can kind of just stitch right over it, and it's really not a big deal. Someone's come and like changed all my stuff. All I've done is taken the hoop out and worked on it over the weekend. But I put it in my bag, and then the fabric got loose in the middle. Then I had to re-tighten it, and then like it just wouldn't lay right, and then it was like, so I do it all over again. Obviously, you can use less strands for a more like dainty look as well. So if you're kind of struggling with the 6 strands, pulling it through your fabric, or like making it look a bit more cohesive. Because some people, what I mean by making it look cohesive is some people don't like it when you use 3 strands for one thing and 6 strands for one thing, and then 2 strands for something else, and then 4 strands for something else. Some people really do not like that. And I don't really know why, because to me, it's just like using a thicker or a thinner line. It's not necessarily cohesive because it's all 6 strands, or it's not necessarily cohesive because it's all 3 strands or all 2 strands. Do you know what I'm saying? So for me, I like to use different strands and make it look like different thicknesses of a pen or a pencil. Okay, that's kind of how I look at it. And I've always explained it like that, because for me that's like the best, I don't know, visualization, visual, I don't know, maybe I'm saying it wrong, to kind of like look at my embroidery as a whole. So yeah, if you're struggling like, oh my gosh, Tori, these are too chunky, and I've put everything else as, 3 strands, and these are just too thick, like, use less then. It's okay. Like, don't worry. Yeah? You don't have to use the same amount of strands that I do. So just keep that in mind. Ooh, this is getting a bit stretched out, it looks like. So hello, all the new people who joined. Maybe I'm just catching my kids' colds. That's what happens when you get like coughed in your face for like 10 days straight. Oh. Right, so that is it for this one. You can add the different colors of straight stitch down the middle. Goodness, I sound like I had too many. Straight stitch down the middle. I'm actually just exhausted. Ellis was up for 2 hours in the middle of the night, just awake, just laying there, just staring at me. Close your eyes. And she's like, okay. And I'm like, You're not being helpful. So yeah, we've had a hard night. So there we go. I used the 3 different colors and kind of tried to blend them down as I go. You're also going to put one big detached chain stitch, 1, 2, 3, and then between each of the petals here. I would use all 6 strands for that, and then just choose a color that matches what you've got going on. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, you don't have to do purple for these ones, but I do. I tend to do almost every time, don't I? I think it just looks so nice. And you know what? My mom really likes purple, so I always think it's like a little bit of her in there, maybe. So there we go. So we've got 6 strands detached chain stitch there. And I'll see you right back here for the book stitch along in just a moment. All right, bye.